Hey everybody, welcome back to another Jackson jet setting travel video. Today we're checking out what it's like to sail on Virgin Voyages Scarlet Lady. We did a 4-night cruise to the Bahamas on board this amazing ship, so wanted to take you through the entire cruise as we experienced it. So let's get started with boarding, which right now is a little different. Given the environment that we all live in now with the pandemic, Virgin Voyages is obviously requiring passengers to be fully vaccinated as well as test in the terminal before getting on board the cruise. While this is very convenient for finding a test, obviously you don't have to do that with Virgin requiring it and providing it. The anxiety of maybe testing negative is ever present while you fly to Miami to get on board your cruise. So it was a quick process though to do testing. We were in and out in about 5 minutes and had this wristband on and went to the waiting area to wait for the email with our test. They're just doing antigen tests, so no big deal there and easy to process on their end. So we headed up the escalators and awaited our results, hoping that we would stay negative. Once we got to the waiting room, it took about 10 to 15 minutes for our results to get there. We arrived at the terminal around 2 p.m., so nothing too busy. A lot of passengers had already gotten on board, and so we received the results and showed the negative tests to the guards at the door, and they let us through. So we had a bit of a walk to get to the ship and to the gangway. One interesting thing is if you're traveling with Virgin Voyages anytime after February 2022, you'll be sailing from Virgin Voyages custom-built Terminal V in the Port of Miami. We sailed from Terminal C here. We were in January. There were some construction delays, obviously the pandemic having a bit of a effect on construction timelines, but overall it was a very easy process and they definitely worked out a lot of the issues that were there as the sailings launched in October. I didn't see any long lines. Obviously that's a factor of our cruise only having about 500 people on board. There's room for 2,700 on the Scarlet Lady, so pretty incredible to have not a lot of people on board to be able to do a lot of things that maybe you would have had to reserve in advance on a full ship. Another cool thing with Virgin Voyages is that they have the band that you wear on your ship. So it's a RFID reader. It'll tap you into the ship if you're coming on board or leaving, so they know you're on the ship, and then you'll be able to also access your room and do room charges there. We had a few issues getting on board. For some reason, the computer wasn't showing us as checked in, even though we had checked in. So anticipate technological issues wherever you go nowadays. But overall, once that was figured out, we had no issues and I really liked the band. I didn't really know if I would like wearing something for the entire cruise, but the fact that I didn't have to sign anything on board, I didn't have to fuddle with a room key, it was always on my wrist, really liked that. So I imagine that most people will enjoy that too. So officially this cruise was called the Sunset and Soirées cruise, and it was originally supposed to go from Key West, Florida to Bimini, Bahamas, where Virgin has their private beach club. A few weeks before our trip, they changed the itinerary and we went from Key West to Nassau. So we were going to go Nassau and then Bimini. But once we got on board this cruise, we actually found out that they switched the ports due to weather. So we were going to Bimini first. So something to keep in mind if you are planning a cruise nowadays. Normally I'd recommend finding some cruise ship excursions off ship. You're going to save a ton of money that way. But with all the issues with COVID, you may end up skipping a port. It just may be hard to get a refund on some of those excursions. So just keep that in mind if you're cruising anytime in the next few months. And we were greeted on board by what is essentially the cruise director, but they call it something different. They have cheeky names for everything. You don't have someone on a microphone all the time just introducing you to different activities. So the Happenings crew is what they're called on board, and they have pop-up entertainment everywhere on the ship. So super fun time, and immediate impressions of the ship is this thing is sexy looking and incredibly designed. One aspect of waiting in the terminal for a few minutes for your COVID test that was kind of cool is that as soon as we got on board, our bags were waiting for us right outside our room. So that was really cool. Sometimes the room cabin is not ready. Sometimes you gotta hunt down your bags, you gotta wait for your bags to get there. I think a factor of the ship not being very busy factored into this, but if the first aboard time is 2 p.m. on the ship, all the cabins are essentially ready to go for you once you get on board, which is really nice and a little different than other cruises that I've experienced. So we sailed with a sea terrace cabin, so that's a traditional balcony cabin. It's maybe 2 or 3 levels up from the base inside cabin. They also have sea terrace XLs, and then you get into the Rockstar suites, which can come with their own areas to hang out in on the ship, including Richard's Rooftop, as well as at Bimini. So some extra perks there, but overall we loved our cabin. Small bathroom, but that's to be expected. I know that recently Virgin came out and said that they're redesigning some of these rooms. I think some of their initial feedback was that the rooms felt a little sparse, but we did see some art on the wall. I know they're adding some wood elements in there, so it's not going to look as stark white, but the mood lighting will stay the same, which I really like. And overall, the feel of the room I don't think is going to change too much. Us traveling as a couple, we kept the bed in a king bed or queen formation, but if you're traveling with a friend, you can switch that to a twin bed setup, and you can also switch it to a couch during the day if you wanted to. We just kept it in the bed. Another cool thing with this sea terrace cabin is the balcony. They have a cool hammock out there for you to read or hang out and watch the ocean float by. Really a lot of fun. I like the privacy. We were on deck 14, so we didn't really have anything overhanging, nothing really obstructing our view like some of the lower decks. You can see those lifeboats there. Those actually have some balcony cabins behind them, so definitely something to keep in mind. But great use of space in the cabin. They had a nice little closet area with safe and towels and life jackets and that sort of thing as well, so definitely recommend the sea terrace cabin. One cool thing once you got on board is there's no traditional muster station drill like cruises of the past. You watch a cool Virgin video, much like you would watch on a airline or even a Virgin airline, and then you go check in with your muster station, which for ours was actually in the casino. I headed up to the galley for some light lunch once I got settled in. Had some ramen, which was pretty cool. The galley is sort of like a buffet, but you are served everything. You order from a menu, and there's a bunch of different stations. By the way, I'm not going to do a full tour of the ship during this video, but we do have a full tour of the ship available on the channel. That will be in the show notes, so you can take a look at that down below. Overall, I was just really getting a feel of what the design of the ship was like and all the spaces. I know there's a lot of unique things on board, but nice bar, some fun, group activities. I mean, I think the ship was really built for the fun cruiser in mind, that someone who maybe isn't traditionally a cruiser. So there's lots of interactive elements, people to, get people involved together and meet new people and make friends. So that was pretty cool to see, I think, throughout the voyage. This is the pool deck. Lots of activities happen here. Not a gigantic pool by any means, but lots of sun loungers. I feel like this would be very busy during a full cruise. So passengers were allowed to board at 2 p.m. and then our sail away was scheduled for 7 p.m. So it was definitely a nighttime departure, which was a little unique. I'm used to leaving Miami in the daylight or sunset hours, but I felt like it made for a really dramatic start to the cruise. The lighting on the deck was really, really cool. You could see the lights going off here. It only got cooler at night, and then the DJ was spinning a lot of cool tunes. I felt like the DJ entertainment was excellent on board the ship, and really the music throughout the ship was really cool. They had a jazz band late at night. They had sort of a funk band going on in the Manor, which is the nightclub on board, a couple nights. So plenty of live music, a little bit different, I think, than a traditional cruise. But even things like the bathroom having a view outside is unique. But around 6 p.m. before sail away, you were able to take some free champagne, which was great. I felt like it was decent quality for being free. And then they were just trying to get the party started. So I think that this cruise line really is trying its best to make sure that people have a great time and have a high-end experience for what they're paying. And like clockwork, pretty much right on the dot, the cruise was departing, and we had a great view of Brickell and Miami as we sailed away. Just a really fantastic view as we sailed on our way to Bimini the next day. One great thing with Virgin that's a little different than its competitors is that all the specialty dining on board is included. So that's why we scheduled ours right after sail away. They had, I think, starting at about 5 p.m. dinner reservations available. There's a few specialty restaurants on board the ship. I believe there were 6 of them, or 5 of them, and we had 4-night cruise. So we couldn't try each one of them for dinner, but we were able to at least taste some food from each. Some are open for brunch and lunch, so just make sure you check the app and see when everything is available once you're on board. So the first night we spent our dinner at the Wake, which is the steak and seafood restaurant, which was my favorite restaurant on the ship. The only way to enter the restaurant was from a higher deck, and you descend down this really cool staircase. There's a nice piano there. We never saw anyone playing piano, but you could see the chairs set up there for cocktails or maybe even a romantic twosome dinner during a different cruise. But the feel of the space felt very like Gatsby, very like 1950s ocean liner in a great way. I thought that was really, really cool. And even though this video is a little brighter due to the iPhone, it was very, very dimly lit in a very sexy, cool way. But everything felt custom. The butter, the salt shakers, just really cool. And so I got some hamachi to start with some pour over there of the sauce. Really incredible. Bread was delicious. And then, of course, I had to have a steak while my wife had some dorade fish, which was served tableside, which is really cool. And you can see them preparing it there. So while all of this was included, we didn't pay any extra for this food. Every specialty restaurant sort of has a buy-up menu of varying prices. So the steakhouse, you can get a big tomahawk steak for $2 for some extra cash. Your Shipboard credit can be used for drinks or food anywhere on the ship right now. So we had a $400 bar tab that we only paid $300 for. So that was a little special offer that they were having for these early cruises. And then you have a great view of, appropriately enough, the Wake out the back of the restaurant, which was really cool. We had a cool view of Miami as we left. So then after dinner, we wanted to check out some of the entertainment. So in the Red Room, they had the Untitled Party Dance Show thing, which was really, really funny and really unique. The stage itself moved around. They had blow-ups. It was about an hour-long show, and you're standing the whole time. I thought that was really cool and a great first night party to get everyone in the Virgin mood. If you're used to traditional Broadway shows, this is not the cruise ship for you if that's something that you absolutely need on a cruise. Everything was a little different, a little younger skewing. I definitely appreciated it. I thought it was different and fun, but it won't be everyone's cup of tea by any means. But there is some traditional entertainment like this, funk jazz band at night at the roundabout, which is sort of the center point of the ship. It's a 2-deck space. So nice bar tucked in the back, and you can listen to live music all night. So day 2 is Bimini, which is not a private island run by Virgin Voyages. They have a space on the island that's private to them called the Beach Club at Bimini. So you can hang out there all day. You can use your bar tab to order drinks from the bar. Keep in mind, Virgin Voyages doesn't have an unlimited bar package, so you have to buy credits, but you get a little bit of a bonus on those, as I mentioned before. So we paid $300 and got $400 total to use for our cruise. But once you're in the beach club, you also have unlimited food and entertainment, lots of fun activities as well. So really a relaxing day if you choose to. But we actually elected to do the Shipwrecks and Sharks excursion to start our morning at 10 a.m. So the ship arrived around 8 a.m. We had a nice breakfast up in the galley and then headed on shore. So the galley's breakfast, only some of the restaurants in the galley are actually open, but you can choose from the waiter, whatever you like. We ended up getting a cool bento box with Greek yogurt and fruit. There's also this specialty coffee place that you see here. So all the specialty coffees on board are an extra charge. I think espresso started at about $2 per shot, so nothing crazy. But you can always have free drip coffee up in the galley, and they have avocado toast. They have a lot of options, actually. So we were pretty happy with that, though I'll always note that the Razzle Dazzle restaurant and the Wake actually have a breakfast option there. But cool thing from the galleys, we spotted a turtle at sea here. Once you're on shore in Bimini, it's really easy to find excursions. We just walked straight off the ship, but you could actually take the trolley that runs all the way to the beach club. It'll take you anywhere on the island that the ship has something associated with, including the dock for the snorkel excursions. So here's the shipwreck of the Sapona. I highly recommend this. It was a little expensive, I think, for my taste initially, but I felt like the overall experience was really fun, and the shark snorkeling was really fun. The excursion itself was about 4 hours long, so we headed over to the beach club to check it out, grab some free lunch, of course, but you could, of course, stay on the ship and use the restaurants on board if you wanted to. But overall, we didn't spend too much time at the beach club. We were just a little tired from all of our snorkeling, so spent about 2 hours there and then headed back to the ship with plenty of time to get ready for dinner and explore the ship a little bit more. Probably my favorite space on the entire ship I found on this day. It's called Dock House. It's located at the very back there. You can see that big deck that's overhanging right above where actually the wake is. It's a sort of day club-esque feel without like all the crazy music. It's I would say a Mykonos, Greece type of feel. Big deck, lots of sun if there is sun out that day. And then these day beds are free to use, and you can order food and drinks there. Of course, all the food is included on board. So these incredible shrimp skewers were there and were just delightful. After that, we headed to Trivia. That's located usually in the Loose Cannon, which is hidden next to the arcade. It's a bar only. It has a lot of cool tiki cocktails, so definitely check that out if you're on board. And then day 3 was in Nassau, which is one of my least favorite ports in the entire world, to be honest with you. A little bummed they moved Key West to Nassau, but we had a cool Disney ship, the Disney Wonder, next to us, so that was pretty fun. And we had breakfast in Razzle Dazzle, which had some really surprisingly good food. This jalapeno cheese croissant was really a surprise, had a nice little kick to it, really, really good. And the avocado toast was a step up from what they served in the galley, so if you're a big avocado toast fan, I would head here. It's waiter service, so it can be a little bit slower, but overall I felt like the quality of all the dishes was really, really good. That's an acai bowl that you're seeing right there. So really what we did, we just headed to the public beach and checked it out for a few hours, but then came right back to the ship. We actually made it on board for lunch, and so we went back to Razzle Dazzle, which has a completely different menu at lunch, including some gazpacho, which was fantastic, and then what is a famous fried chicken sandwich with a black seed bun and some french fries, really, really good, some shishito peppers. And then since the ship was pretty empty, it was never really hard to find karaoke space. We didn't really use it that much, but we wanted to try it out at least for one song each. So that was pretty cool and very a high-end space if you're into that sort of thing. This was also the night of Scarlet Night, so you started seeing these cool octopus blow up things pop up all around the ship, and a lot of foreboding for what was to come. I thought that was pretty cool. We had another trivia game, which was really a lot of fun. I just love trivia, so I'll always make my way to that. But dinner that night was actually at Pink Agave, which is the Mexican restaurant. We wanted to try this out even though we live in the Southwest and have great Mexican food all the time. Really pretty good food, really high-end steak and seafood options. with a nice Mexican Southwest kick. So definitely recommend this, especially if you're from the East Coast and don't normally get any good Mexican options. So Scarlet Night began around 9 p.m. that night. I feel like this was the most unique and really successful thing that Virgin did in terms of entertainment. Got the whole ship involved in this big kind of backstory. You don't really have to understand it really to enjoy it, but it's just kind of ship-wide chaos. There's lots of dancers everywhere, and you start following the crew members from the Happenings team into random scavenger hunts, or they have live entertainment that's popping up all over the place. You never really know what you're going to expect. I've seen on other cruises they did like a secret concert in the spa. So you really just follow the leader a little bit and you'll find out something fun. So after the secret wedding that we found, we were led up to the top deck by the pool, and we had this cool little octopus going on, and then all the crew members showed up and did this big choreographed dance show with awesome singing. So really a lot of fun, and it just went off from there. So lots of fun, and definitely check it out if you're on board. So after that fun evening, we had a nice sea day. So the brunch on board can be had actually at Razzle Dazzle or Wake. So we wanted to check out Wake this day. So a nice salad, and then got to check out the restaurant in the daylight. Really a pretty space. It was my favorite spot on the boat. But one interesting thing is after noon, between I believe noon and 2 p.m., they actually serve a lunch menu. So you can get a higher end steak than what I had, which was really, really good. I mean, the best steak on board was definitely in this space. So definitely dine at the Wake, make that a priority. That would be my vote. From there, we really just explored the ship all day and had sort of a progressive snack and drinking. Lots of casual restaurants on board. You don't have to just book the specialty restaurants. There's a cool ice cream stand with specialty flavors and even cones that are flavored differently. It's called Lick Me Till Ice Cream. The pizza place makes some custom pizzas. I thought that the pizzas were very good, despite the limitations of onboard pizza. You can't really use an open flame or anything like that. But they did have a Winwood specialty beer, which I love. I love kind of specialty beers like that are themed to the destination that you're in. So that was pretty cool to see. And I think the only place that they served it on board. I didn't see that anywhere else, including the brewery. But they do have in Loose Cannon the ability for you to control the music, which is cool. And then next door to that is a diner setup. They have a lot of different items, including hot dogs, but we wanted to try the pretzel with the green chili beer cheese. But yeah, nice spaces on board, lots of places to get outside and enjoy the fresh air. And then around 5 p.m. they had a afternoon appetizer in Extra Virgin, the Italian restaurant, so we definitely wanted to try that. And that was definitely worth it for us to be at least able to try it, even though we didn't have time to do a full dinner there. But overall, pretty impressed with the meatballs in that space. And then they had trivia at a different space, actually outdoors, which was really a lot of fun. And we were just enjoying the night. But the test kitchen was our last dinner. This is one of the most unique restaurants, I think, on board the ship. It's more of a kind of Michelin star type of feel. There's small plates, lots of molecular gastronomy type of dishes. You can do cocktail pairings or mocktail pairings, wine pairings, beer pairings that are extra to all of your dishes. But here's like this mushroom dish, and then they had an egg dish next. Lots of cool options that you could choose from. But actually saying that, there weren't any options at all. You had a set menu designed by the chef. Imagine that this one would probably be pretty popular if the ship was super busy. So I would definitely get my reservations in for this one as well as the wake early if you're sailing in the future and you have your options available to you. So definitely worth checking out. Again, this is probably a little bit more expensive on land than on a cruise ship, so definitely check that out. So it being our last night, normally cruises make you put your bags out at like 10:30 p.m. all packed ready to go so that they can grab the bags and drag them off the ship for you in the morning. That is an option in case you didn't want to take care of your bags. With us just having one checked bag, it really wasn't too hard for us to do on our own the next morning. One really cool thing I felt that the ship did differently was that we could just stay in our room until 10:30 in the morning. So they didn't kick you off the ship super early. They didn't make you go to some disembarkation station. All you had to do was really hang out in your room, enjoy Miami for the morning, go have a breakfast, nice leisurely breakfast at Razzle Dazzle is what we chose, and then get off the ship and have a great experience heading to the airport or whatever else you had planned in Miami. So overall, a great cruise on Virgin Voyages Scarlet Lady. Would highly recommend, and watch our other videos. Thanks for watching.